avez perdu. Vous avez perdu. On est trop fort à gauche. On a l'amour, on a la fête, on a la joie. Vous avez la haine. On est trop fort. On est trop fort. Vous avez perdu, désolé. Et c'est des racistes. Voilà, c'est tout. On va aller se faire enculer. C'est tout, c'est tout. Vous avez perdu. Vous avez perdu. Vous avez perdu. Voilà, gaiement. On va rester en France. Nous les boudous, nous restons ici. On reste ici. Voilà, on va rester là, les gars.
Huh. Those look like the same people who are complaining that things are getting worse as they just voted to make things way worse in France. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of youtube.com/wearechange, and there's a lot of absolutely mind-boggling news to get into as, of course, we have the results from the elections in France that a lot of people on the right really are not happy about. What does this signal to the United States? As, of course, there was even riots, even in political victory for the left, as there still are some major questions surrounding the future of the Biden administration. If it will still exist, well, it definitely looks like Sleepy Joe is pulling out all the shots here. Will it work? Well, we'll talk about that, plus all the latest news here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And for every new subscriber, Atlas, my co-host, at least gets one treat, as of course the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by Rebel News, as they had a reporter on the ground in Paris, France, showing people who are, usually supposed to be humble in political victory, not so humble, not so gracious. As the far left there overwhelmingly won, and the future of the country will go on the trajectory that it already is on. This, as Europe is a very weird leftist kind of place to live in, where now even some people in Spain are deciding to take matters into their own hands and literally try to expel and make tourists not feel welcome in their country. As, of course, anyone and everyone is welcome into France, which has divided a society there, as CNBC News wrote that this upcoming election is, quote, a kind of civil war, as France was on alert for unrest amongst what a lot of people expected to be a major political earthquake that turned out to be just the way of the old. As the French elections saw populist right-wing leaders like Le Pen win most of the votes, but were awarded the third amount of seats in the French representative government. CNN reported that the leftists surge and, quote, foiled the far right, but the election still, quote, is in deadlock, as a lot of people, predominantly hoisting flags from the Middle East, showed up into the city center of Paris and celebrated, as now the radical far left is demanding power in representative government, as even major Antifa figures won political seats in this election. And even though the left won, there still were riots, there still was property destruction and civil unrest that was felt on a minuscule level in Paris, France. But it is Paris, France. That's usually what happens there anyway. As, of course, the left-wing coalition won a plurality of seats, as a lot of people see this as France officially becoming a country that's on a pathway to become a third world country. As, of course, a lot of people were kind of highlighting some of the property damage that usually does happen in Paris. As other political analysts are saying that this is also a nightmare for Macron, who is a former Rothschild banker. He is more of a kind of centrist, globalist, neoliberal, conservative type of political leader, as now the left is building a coalition that's going to want to spend a lot more money, and according to some experts, going to be creating a lot of political chaos and violence. This, as France is soon to host the Olympics, as there's literal protesters literally telling people to take a crap in the local rivers in order to protest the local political leadership in that country. As a lot of people are promising now years of political paralysis, as Macron now is a lame duck, as it looks like politically his party did everything they could to make sure that the right-wing party didn't get a significant portion of the votes here, as now a lot of people are thinking that Marine Le Pen will soon be challenging Macron in the upcoming 2027 presidential elections. This as the demographics and the local population keeps changing in France to her detriment, as a lot of right-wingers here in the United States see this as officially the end of France. This as some other right-wing media figures here in the United States were calling for a larger investigation into this upcoming election, as of course there's even some people saying that there was cheating. We of course don't know that for certain yet, and the evidence still is circumstantial. This as one thing is definitely clear is that France's support for the larger proxy war unfolding right now in Europe will remain steady. This as the situation there keeps getting crazier by the day, as the latest news from Ukraine is that a Kiev children's hospital was hit with a missile. Where did that missile come from? Was it a part of a Ukrainian air defense system, which again has been shown to also hit civilian targets? Was this a deliberate attack by the Ruskies? What's really going on here? And again, we don't know. We're still finding out all the latest developments and details here, as of course the situation there is getting very grave for the Ukrainians that are dealing with a Russian offensive that slowly and surely is taking more of their land away from them. This as Russian submarines recently have been seen inside of the Irish Sea, as the world is becoming closer to the brink of a full all-out calamity that there's no going back from. And that's one reason out of many reasons why you should sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, I'm going to be doing a lot of trips soon. I'm going to be at Freedom Fest. If you want tickets to that event, use promo code WeAreChange50 and get $50 off of those tickets. I'm also going to be at the RNC. I'm also going to be doing stuff with the Beanie Man and Timcast. And then, of course, I will also be at the Bitcoin conference. Use promo code WRC to get a significant discount off of those tickets, as we just gave out free tickets to members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Those tickets were like $600, and they were given out free to members of LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? As of course, we do nearly exclusive videos almost every single day for members, and we have a lot of really cool things available for the members there. So if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and members also get the ability to call in to our live show. As of course, we have a huge mega celebrity guest coming on our podcast show this week. We're going to announce who it is on tonight's podcast that is going to be going live 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have 3 guests joining us for tonight's conversation live 2-hour podcast here on this YouTube channel in just a few hours from now. So tune in for that and a lot more, as of course, domestically, the political situation is just becoming more and more uncertain.
I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
This has a lot of people saying, wasn't that convincing there, as of course details keep coming out of just the ineptitude of the current president of the United States, as we're finding out from his own staff members that he has to be given detailed instructions with pictures and large font telling him where to enter and exit a room. Yeah, the president of the United States has difficulties entering and exiting a room. As of course, the former press secretary even came out and said that the interview that was supposed to decide his faith was just, quote, okay. And it didn't really reassure a lot of people, as Joe Biden decided to send out a letter to fellow Democrats on Capitol Hill this morning, where he, of course, expressly said that he is going to be defeating Donald Trump this election cycle. As 4 senior House Democratic representatives have come out and said that Joe Biden should leave the presidential race immediately. As the New York Post wrote an article talking about how the Democrats are going to get him off of the ticket very soon, and with the way that things are going, probably. As of course, we just got pictures of the instructions that the president of the United States gets on full pieces of paper, literally telling him to quote, walk to the podium. That's literally the stage that this man is on. as it's not just fellow Democrats that want to see him leave. It's also mega donors. It's also very powerful people inside of Hollywood that, of course, control the purse and therefore control the presidency. As all the guys with the big money interests that, of course, have allowed Joe Biden to become the president of the United States originally are all turning their back on him, which is fascinating and really does highlight how these groups of people that control the purse really control the presidency, as Joe Biden is doubling down and now saying that he doesn't care about what the media or Democrats even have to say. Yes, you heard that correctly. Joe Biden doesn't even give a damn, as he's telling people he is staying in the race and that he is absolutely going to somehow defeat Donald Trump, as the poll numbers there definitely don't highlight that. And again, the poll numbers, wrong. They were wrong in France, which kind of makes you wonder, how manipulated are these poll numbers? And if, in fact, they were maybe a political ploy used to, of course, drive out the voter effort from the left. As, of course, in France, the people were told, the right's going to win, the right's going to win, the right's going to win. They didn't. It could have been because of these kind of polls and predicted victories that galvanized a larger voter base in or a part of the left wing that was activated by these poll numbers. As again, a lot of these poll numbers could be manipulated in many different ways. And with similar globalist policies instituted here in the United States like they were in France, especially when it comes to the immigration policies, it definitely does make you wonder what's going to be happening in this upcoming political election cycle. As Joe Biden is declaring he's not going anywhere, and maybe he won't have to. As of course, he even talked about a Democratic elite that wants to replace him. As of course, he is the Democratic elite. He is the flesh suit. He is the sock puppet of the Democratic elite. And for them, even to say that his time has passed is kind of telling, and I might be wrong on my kind of analysis from this, as this is what old Yeller had to say himself.
Me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot, just a straight shot. Everybody gets a fair chance, number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce the president. Challenge me at the convention.
Yeah, Mika Brzezinski, the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, even found that funny herself. As of course, who knows if that's even Joe Biden speaking to Joe Scarborough here, as a lot of people are questioning the potentiality of a lot of underhanded moves being made here, as Joe Biden doesn't have any kind of political events lined up. His wife has 3 of them lined up today, highlighting, something definitely is afoot here. And I think we're going to get more clear answers about what's going to be happening for the future of the Democratic Party and the Democratic elite establishment right after the RNC, where Donald Trump will kind of have to announce his VP pick. He can't make a strategic pick. He has to kind of pick blindly against an opponent that could be anyone and everyone. As of course, things are definitely going to be shaken up this election cycle. We're going to be here for it on the ground, reporting to you here on wearechange.org. Again, one more video coming for members, and then a podcast episode, 6 p.m. Eastern later on today. See you there. I love you guys. I'm going to be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange. Love you.